Hi guys, my name is Sasha, and last video I made I was talking about the reasons why I moved out of Eastern Europe. But today I want to talk about something a little bit more positive, and I decided to talk about why I actually moved to the UK. Originally I came here to study, and it actually surprises a lot of people when I talk about it to them, particularly English people. The universities in the UK are one of the best in the entire world. So a lot of people, when they are thinking about universities, especially in Eastern Europe, or people, countries where the universities are not as great, or they're quite corrupt, where you have to pay to get a good grade, or you don't get good education in general, a lot of people, what they decided to do is they look at the best universities, and most of them you can find either in the US, in the UK. You would see them in Canada or Australia. So those four countries, developed countries, I should say, which have incredible reputation for the universities. Doesn't mean that other universities are bad, particularly in Europe, countries like Norway or Netherlands. A lot of people go and study there for a lot cheaper. But those four countries are sort of like considered a standard, right? So initially, I came here to study in uni, but because in Ukraine we only have 11 years in school, I had to do A-levels. So I went to the boarding school. I used to live there. I made an entire video rant about it. I absolutely hated it, guys. Don't go to the boarding school. It's just a bad idea overall if you like freedom and you like to do whatever the shit you want and you're quite a creative person. So that's the first thing. Universities are great. I'm studying in the University of Southampton. For my degree, it's in top 100 of the world, which is mind-blowing. So I went to the University of Southampton because while their degree is very valuable, I wouldn't have to be working as hard as, say, University of Oxford or Cambridge, right? Another thing I really love about the UK is the salary. The salary here, guys, is just amazing. I know, so on average in the UK, I think it's £16,000 a year, which it doesn't sound very realistic to me, but that's what the statistics are, okay? I know I personally have been earning £8 an hour while working at M&S as a customer assistant in training, right? So it wasn't even a customer assistant, it was just assistant in training. I was 19, didn't have any qualifications whatsoever apart from my A-level and broken English, all right? And I was making... Well, if I was working 40-hour week, I would be making £1,300 a month. £1,300 a month, which is more than enough to live in a city like Southampton, where I live. Whereas in Ukraine, you would have to be making a couple of £100 at best, even if you're lucky. Surely the prices are a bit lower, but at the same time, the standard of living is a lot lower. It's a couple of £100 is just not enough to cut it in Ukraine. So I'm really glad that I'm living somewhere and making money where I can, live freely. I don't have to worry about anything. I'm not even working 40 hours a week. I'm working 10, 15 maybe while I'm not at uni. So it was perfect for me, right? The other thing I wanted to mention is people. Now, I know in general, in the world... British people have a reputation of being more... They stick their emotions to themselves. They're not like, for example, Americans. They're not quite outspoken. They're very careful with what they're saying. They're also quite polite. But actually, from my experience personally, I really love British people. They are incredibly tolerant. And I know... Of course, there are some exceptions in every single country, but in comparison to Ukraine, for example, British people are incredibly tolerant, not only to, black people or gay people or, Muslims or whoever it is who people can discriminate against. It's pretty much any person, British people are quite tolerant. We do see some of that negative nationalism as we are seeing right now in America, in here as well, with all the Brexit that's going on. But, generally, living in South England, I can definitely say that most people are very tolerant, they're very nice, they're very patient as well, incredibly polite, just nothing else I can say about them. Yeah, so that is my experience of why I decided to live in the UK, especially in comparison to what I described in the last video about Ukraine, with people being intolerant and people being homophobic, racist, sexist. It's definitely quite a quite an upgrade for me in living. So yes, that's all I wanted to talk/rant about. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, comment down in the video with whatever it is you want to comment, because I'm pretty sure I got a few things wrong or a few things right. Share your experience if you moved to another country as well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!